I'm really excited to unbox this plant haul and I'll show you what I've got along the way. There should be a fantastic mix of plants in here, including a rare one off the wish list, and a really unusual one which I'd love to know if you've seen it before or not. So this one is from my usual plant retailer. It's quite a large box, so there is a large plant in there as well as a few others, and I've also got another one from a new retailer that I'm trying out, and the box has been pretty badly damaged in transit, so I'm hoping the plants have arrived safely, but we'll find out. So we'll start with the box from the new retailer that I'm trying, and this is the one that's got really badly damaged in transit. I don't know if you can see just how damaged that box is, how squashed in it is, and even the top you can see where the tape's come loose and it's crinkled up because of the weight on top. So I'm just hoping that the plants are okay. That's not really the retailer's fault if it's been bashed about in transit, but possibly something I should feed back, but hopefully the plants will be okay. So let's open it up and see what's inside. Now, I'm still unpacking the box, but one great thing I've noticed is all of the packaging is paper based. Even the tape is paper, so there's no plastic in the packaging at all. This actually reminds me of when I used to have a plant shop, because I packed the plants in exactly the same way. Same tape, same papers, so bringing back a few memories. I'm going to unwrap these now so I can actually show you what plants are in each one. So first one out of the box, and this is the one off my wish list. This is the Philodendron Ring of Fire. So I've wanted one for a while, but they've been incredibly expensive, so I've just not bought one. But this was on a fantastic offer, 40% off. So this was just £18. And it's in a 14cm pot, and as you can see it's got loads of leaves, really healthy plant, lots of new leaves on the way, and I'm just going to bring it closer so you can see some of that wonderful variegation on the leaves, particularly this one in the middle. You can see the cream and even pink blotches down the leaf, so hopefully this will settle now it's out of its wrapping. Some of the leaves might come down a little bit. The only thing that I have noticed is there was a bit of soil loss and it is a little bit loose in the pot, so I'm just going to top that soil up, and I think that's just from the bashing about of the box that it came in. But the plant itself, really good, healthy plant. Now this next one was a bit of an impulse buy. This one, I just love the look of the leaves. This is the Philodendron Campi, and it's a lot bigger than I was expecting it to be as well. So this is all one leaf just here, and the leaves are almost palm-like rather than philodendron-like, or at least not like any of the philodendrons that I've got in my collection at the moment. So it's great to add a new variety. This one looks like a really healthy plant, lots of leaves on it. It looks like there might even be several plants in the pot. The same challenge with this one is it just lost a bit of soil, so there's a lot of soil on the desk from where I've unwrapped this, just like with the first one, but that's probably to be expected with the bashed around box. But other than that, very healthy plant, so very happy with this one. So keeping with philodendrons, this next one is the Philodendron Pink Princess Marble. So I do have a standard Pink Princess, and I think there might be one in the other box too, but I bought this because I liked the way the leaves were different in terms of their colour, and even actually now that I've got it, a slightly different texture too, so they're a bit rougher, almost like the Birkin. But if I bring this closer, you can see that wonderful colour on the leaf. So it's still got the blocking of colour like the standard Pink Princess, but then it's got a lot of this marbling mixing in the colour in the leaf, as the name suggests. So this is a really good sized plant in a 6 or 7cm pot. It looks like all of the soil is there as it should have been, and the plant looks really healthy, so this has arrived safely. And here's another little philodendron. This one is the Philodendron White Wizard. So this is actually a replacement, as I unfortunately killed the last one that I had. I forgot to water it. It was in a place where I just completely missed it, and as it was in a large pot it dried out really quickly and the plant didn't recover. So this one will replace that one, and just like the other small one, it looks like these have managed to survive the journey better than the larger plant. So all of the soil seems to be in the pot and no damage to the leaves that I can see. And another little philodendron, this one is the Philodendron White Knight. This one looks a little bit smaller than the other two that I was just holding, but this actually has 2 baby plants in the pot, so I can possibly pot them up separately, and then I've got 2 plants for the price of 1. So I do already have this in the collection, but I've bought it again because I just love the leaves, the striking variegation against the purple to magenta stems on the plant. But it was also such a fantastic price. All of the plants in this order were 40% off, so I got this for £7.80, which is even better knowing that I've got 2 plants for that same price. This one also arrived safely. This doesn't seem to have any damage or any loss of soil in the pot. And this next one is a really common one. You might recognise it. This is the Syngonium Pictus argyraeus, or Saturn Prothos, and this one has got wonderful dark green mature leaves and all of these nice light green new vines coming on the way. So this one arrived safely, no soil loss, and it's a really full pot. So I did buy this, I've already got one, but it looks a bit straggly, and I was going to pot it up with the one that arrived to make it look a bit fuller, but this one is rammed full in the pot. So I might just leave this one as it is, or maybe have to pot it up into a larger pot with my existing one, and then try and hopefully let it trail down, or maybe grow up something. So the last plant from the first order that was in that bashed up box is this Schismatoglossus willichii. I think I've said that right. If I haven't, please use phonetics to correct me in the comments below. So this one is one that's been on my wish list for a while, but I've just refrained from buying it. But with the offer that was on the 40% off, I managed to get this for £11.80. So I definitely bought it at that price. This one looks like there's quite a few plants in the pot, or it's just really spread out. There's loads of wonderful leaves on it. However, you can see, or you might be able to see in the camera, it does look a little bit droopy, the new leaves especially, and there's a little bit of a bent leaf on top there. So I think it did get a little bit bashed in transit and just didn't enjoy being in the box. So I'm going to make sure that it does get enough light, so I'll make sure that it's near a window tomorrow. And also I need to top up the soil, just like the Ring of Fire, it did lose quite a bit of soil. So this one's obviously a little bit more affected than the others, but hopefully it will recover once it settles in. So here is the rare plant. This is the Monstera Oblique Peru form. These used to be in real short supply and go for huge sums of money, but I think recently there must have been a lot of stock that's hit the market, as I've seen them across different houseplant retailers and the price has dropped. So I definitely wanted to get one. When I saw them, these were only $34.99. I was expecting a much smaller plant because even the cuttings, which are maybe 1 or 2 leaf cuttings, go for a lot more than that. So I was definitely expecting a smaller plant for $34.99. This is a really healthy looking plant as well. So it's had a new leaf that's come up along the way, a new leaf here, it's growing off a new one there. And as you can see, the leaves, this used to get mixed up with the Adantini, but you can clearly see the leaves are strikingly different. They've got more fenestrations than they have leaf, almost like a skeleton leaf. So I'm really pleased with this one. I just need to keep it obviously happy and healthy, and hopefully it'll produce more of these wonderful leaves. And then if the availability of them is increasing, hopefully the price will either stay the same or maybe even go down a little bit further. And if they've not hit your markets yet, hopefully they will soon, so you can get your hands on one too. So I did say that I might have had another pink princess in the larger box, and here it is. So while I do already have a larger one of them, it has got a little bit sad, and I think I'll do a future rescue video on it because it needs some attention. And I do have a smaller one the same size as the marble that I showed you earlier, but this one was a really good size for the right price, so I added it to the order to maybe hedge my bets a little bit, just in case that larger one also doesn't make it, but I'll cover that in a future video. So this one has just had a wonderful new leaf pop up in the middle, and you can see it's got all of that wonderful pink colouring on the leaves, so a really healthy plant there, so very happy with that. I just need to keep this happy and not let whatever's happened to the larger one happen to this one. So this is the unusual one. Have you ever seen this plant before? This one is the Epipremnum Skeleton Key, and I'll show you the plant a little bit closer in a second, but I bought it because it was completely new to me, and the leaves were so different and unique to anything that I've ever seen, and definitely anything that I've got in the collection. So this one might look a little bit straggly at the moment as well, but I'll just bring it back and just show you. So it arrived on a moss pole, so it's quite a large plant, but the moss pole finishes here. And while this was obviously in stock, it must have been growing really strong because the vines have grown off from the moss pole. So I might put an extension on the moss pole and help the plant grow up, or I could possibly even chop some of that and then try and propagate it and multiply it. What do you think I should do? Drop it in the comments below if you think I should extend it and let it grow to a taller plant, or maybe try propagating it and multiplying it. So if I bring it a little bit closer, I can show you the leaves. Again, they're quite unusual because they morph or they change as the leaves get maturer, or as the plant gets maturer, the leaves change their shape. So this is the shape of the smaller leaves, a little bit similar to the Epipremnum dark form, I think it is, that starts with these pointed leaves like this, although these are quite a bit bigger, quite a bit longer. And then as the leaves, it starts to develop maturer leaves, they become these almost hand-shaped, so they become 3-pointed with a much longer point in the middle of the leaf. And this is possibly where it gets its name from, because it also gets some fenestrations down the middle of the leaf as well, very, very tiny fenestrations. And this one, I'm guessing that's where it gets the skeleton key name from. I also think it looks a little bit like, if I can put this leaf up, it looks a little bit like a hand giving you the finger as well, so maybe a bit of a rude plant too. Very, very unusual leaves. And all of the leaves, even though they're similar shape, they're all quite different as well, which makes it a little bit more unique. So really pleased with this plant. This is much bigger than I was expecting too. A really healthy plant, lots of strong growth. So let me know what I should do. Should I prop it or extend the moss pole and let it grow taller? And I will check your comments after the video is published. So what do you think of those plants? I'm really happy with both of the orders and all of the plants that have arrived. Despite one of the boxes being completely bashed up in transit, the plants have arrived relatively safely with just a little bit of soil loss and maybe one that needs a bit of light. I feel like this is one of my best plant hauls, as I've managed to find new plants to the collection, particularly those that are usually more expensive, the rarer types and the more unusual types, all at the right price. As I said, I'll do a future video on rescue plants, some of those sad plants that I was talking about earlier, and I've got lots of other plants in the pipeline all around plant related topics. So if you have found this useful and you'd like to see more plant related videos, then consider subscribing to be notified when those new videos are out. If you've got any questions, put them in the comments below and I'll respond to everyone, and as always, thank you for watching Grow Your Wellbeing.